What is good, everybody, man? Welcome back into the Blue Bloods. We're continuing our FCS spotlight as we approach the 2023 season. And this one means a little bit more, man. I always talk about it's all you got to put on for the local guys. And this guy right here from Mobile, Alabama, man, played at Theodore High School. But I got so many memories, man, being from Baker, playing Theodore year in and year out. That school has ascended to one of the top schools in the state of Alabama. We got my guy Kameron Brown, Chattanooga defensive back, was a first team Blue Bloods FCS All-American, first team All SoCon, and his freshman season was on the SoCon All Freshman team as well. Cameron, I appreciate you being on the show, man.
Man, thank you. It's exciting opportunity to come on here, and let some people know like what's going on outside of football, and just get a good point of view of me.
Absolutely. And I think uh, you've really popped on a lot of people's radar this year. I remember this year I came up to Chattanooga for the Mercer game and they're rolling. Everyone's high on Mercer. I think a lot of voters had him in the top 10. And I think your head coach Rusty was like, we need to put some respect on Chattanooga in this game. And you guys just came out there. I think it was what the third play, the pick six.
Yeah, it was like the second play of the possession, and it was a film study. We had the quarterback, his eyes, he's always looking at the receiver, and it's like a little check route. So it was just film study and a lot of hard work, through fall camp, to make plays like that and to make an impact in a game like that also.
Yeah, we're going to get to the film study because as I've heard, you are one of the most, I guess, ridiculous film watchers ever. I've heard of some other interviews. I've heard you talk about it, but I want to go back to your high school. Coming out of Theodore, man, Theodore was really on the ascension while you were there. What was your recruitment process like coming out of high school, and what made Chattanooga the place for you?
Actually, my recruiting process it was very crazy. I started off getting offers from Troy, ULM, Southern Miss, so it was exciting. And then some late FCS schools came on, but Coach Rusty was at Georgia State, and I was talking to Georgia State, and I was possibly going to sign in an early signing period in 2018, but I ended up, waiting, and he got the head coaching job here at Chattanooga, and we had a good relationship, so I ended up coming here. But like I had other options like South Alabama and stuff like that. But
Hey, I think you made a really good decision based on what's happened so far. But a lot of people probably don't know this, man. But I know, being from Mobile, I followed your story closely. You've struggled with seizures, man, on and off the field in high school, even some in college, man. Speak a little bit about that and how it's really prepared you and put a chip on your shoulder and just made you as mentally strong as you are.
every seizure I had, it was just like kind of a setback for me in my football career because I have a little like nagging injury here and there. So like after I got used to having them, like I got on medication and like it got controlled way better than it was when I was younger. I had some good doctors, to guide me through the process and let me know like everything's gonna be okay. So it was really good. And in college, like with all my like benefits, like I still get, checkups here and there to make sure everything is okay.
Do you feel like that played a part in your recruitment at all coming out of high school, that teams were worried about that at all? Or were you able to kind of like reassure them like, listen, man, because I was looking at it, you missed one game and man, you were back right after getting ready to play, man. So what was that process like for you mentally? Just because I don't think people talk enough about mental health of athletes during injuries, and that's not even something that you were getting injuries from playing. It was I was reading about one of the seizures, you woke up with a concussion and everything. How did you mentally, I guess, prepare yourself to come back even stronger after that?
I knew I was gonna be, setback, and while I was, down on my back, down in a bad time, I knew everybody else was still working, so I knew I had to be 10 times better when I came back. So I just put it on my mind like I'm gonna, work through this like it's like a football workout or anything else. Like I didn't take my mind off of football, basically.
I don't blame you at all, man. And I think it's one of the more interesting stories I think that we've had on the show. But look, moving forward to Chattanooga, you explode on the freshman senior and also con freshman selection. But this year was really the year that I think, I mean, you're going to be a preseason All-American. You were an FCS All-American this past season. What clicked for you this past season in 2022?
What really clicked, I just got the opportunity to display what I displayed my freshman year because my sophomore year, um, I lost my sister due to childbirth. So I had like an off year that year. And also COVID. I only played 4 games, so I got a COVID year after that. So I didn't really, participate my sophomore year. So like I came back this year fully healthy, um, with like determination on my mind, to make my name noticed.
And I was going to get into that later, but since you brought it up, man, I wanted to ask you, just overcoming that, to have the death of your sister happen mid-season. I believe it was before the Western Kentucky game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit about how you had to, I guess, mentally overcome that and deal with that yourself, and also what your teammates and your coaches and the community inside the Chattanooga locker room, how big they were in helping you get through that tough time?
It was like I really never, lost anybody that close to me, so it was like very surprising. And like even at the hospital that day, I was still watching the guys play like against Western, and they really beat them, but it was crazy. But I mean, I overcame it, through hard work, because my sister, she would want to see me doing big things like that I did this past season. So I know that would make her happy, and like when I keep doing it, it makes me happy. So it's just a great opportunity, to display my talent while I'm, mentally kind of disturbed at the time. So it's just a
Yeah,
good thing.
I mean, I gotta give a shout out to you, man, because I can't, I'm the same way as you. I don't think I've ever lost anyone that close to me. So props to you, man, and your family for overcoming that. And looking at last year, man, I think Chattanooga probably had as much talent on that defense as anybody in the country.
Yeah.
And we had Michael Hires, the Sanford quarterback, on, and he was saying, "Bro, that Chattanooga defense." He was like, "That was the longest week of film study I ever had this season." From Jay to Maxwell up front to, I mean, Ty Beckett linebacker, to yourself in the secondary, Ruben in the secondary. How competitive was it during practice, and what was the relationship like between all the defense when you had all these guys who were ready to be superstars? And one week it might not be you, it might be Devontae getting a bunch of sacks. The next week you with a lot of picks. How were you guys able to come together and be one of those dominant defenses in the country?
Really, Coach Whammy Ward, he's a big defensive coordinator, and he let us know like uh, this is probably one of the best defenses he's coached out of his whole career, and he's coached at big schools like South Carolina, Fresno State. So hearing that motivated us as a whole group and gave us the confidence, to perform like we were the best defense that he's ever coached. So and it showed on the field, it showed off the field. Our relationships were great. We team bonding, everybody got along. So I mean, it showed. So it's a great opportunity to have a defense like that and to know what it is to have a great defense. So this year we were probably trying to work back to that. So
Yeah, and I mean, you guys have a lot of young guys. I think people are going to get to know this year. I would say, especially along that front seven. But I mean, it's almost like you can read my questions through the screen, because you mentioned the guy who I was going to bring up next, defensive coordinator Lorenzo Ward. You talked about his background. I mean, this guy's coached at the highest level. He's done it at the highest level. He's one of the most respected names in college football. What is your relationship like with him, and how does he help you become a better player as you've developed throughout your career?
I mean, we got a great relationship. He's like kind of like a father figure to me. We joke around a lot, so we have fun, and he lets me play because he knows how smart I am, and his defense basically. I sometimes make the calls before he makes the calls, so we just have a great football relationship and also a great relationship off the field, to where I could talk to him anytime about anything. So
And one of my favorite, because I mean, I've been to all the media days. I've talked to almost all the head coaches in FCS. One of the best coaches to talk to is head coach Rusty Wright. He is so, I mean, the bluntness and his like, he's so weirdly funny at times where he just is outspoken as can be. What is he like behind the scenes? Because I was there for the Mercer game. That was a big win for you guys. That was a historic win. And he was almost in tears at the podium talking about you guys. What is the bond between the players and head coach Rusty Wright behind the scenes in the locker room?
He loves us like we're kids of his own. I mean, he displays it on and off the field. You know, if anything goes down, we come to him with it, and he tries his best to handle anything that we come to him with. And he's just a great mentor and a great leader. You know, he's about business, and he wants everything done right. So, I mean, it's pretty much a strict head coach, you know, that wants to win like everybody else. And he does a great job with us.
And this year, man, the ultimate accomplishment is being named an FCS All-American, especially first team, and you achieved that this year. What does that mean to you? I mean, we've talked about your story, overcoming everything you've had to overcome, including COVID, because everyone, all the guys who are playing college ball right now had to do something that nobody in the history of college ball had to do, and that's overcome COVID as well. What does it mean to you to be named a first team FCS All American last season?
Um, it shocked me at first, but I mean, it was what I worked for, and me and my dad, we talked about it, and it was just really surprising at first because I didn't think I think I could have performed more than what I did because I missed the Illinois game because I got hurt mid game. So like, um, just hearing the first team All American, you know, it just made me feel like I got more to achieve. Like now I want to be like the defensive player of the year. So it just motivates me more to keep going to the next level and trying to accomplish more and more.
I'll have to do some research off the top of my head. I can't remember the last time a team had two different players win back to back SoCon Defense Player of the Year awards because Jay won it last year. And then also I know that Buck Buchanan's in your eyesight as well. That's going to be a big one. But I want to talk a little bit about your development, man, because I don't think people understand the jump you take from high school football to college football and everything you have to check off and develop. How I want you to compare and contrast freshman year Kameron Brown to the guy I'm talking to right now, going into like year 4 now. So, how have you developed your game over 4 seasons at Chattanooga?
First, well, it started off with Coach Eric Collier at Theodore. I mean, he put me in a system that like I was watching film. I was doing everything that I would be doing in college, like in high school. So I kind of already got things down packed. And when I got to Chattanooga, you know, I was kind of in the mix, you know, playing and doing a lot of stuff, special teams, and I was enjoying it. And I mean, now the big jump that I made was, you know, in practice, like my fall camps, my spring trainings, all of those were very important for my development. And we had a lot of receivers like Sam Phillips. He's a very big part of my development right now. I became a much better DB, man to man, guarding Sam every day at practice. So I would say my development was a major jump from freshman year to now because it's just like my technique is everything is critiqued to where like that's perfect. And it's just like my coaches can use it for a teach tape, like display it for the next group that's coming in. So it's just it's exciting to see, you know, where I started at and where I am now.
Film study, I think, is one of the biggest differences. But you said, man, listen, you said you're yeah, at Theodore, you guys are watching film like that too. But I think when you jump to that college level, man, you got to be obsessed to be one of the greats at watching film. And I've heard you in previous interviews about how much film you watch. Break it down for me, man. After the game on Saturday, from Sunday to the next Saturday, what is your film schedule and what is your strategy on how you break down film of your next opponent?
Um, well, after a game, you know, I watch the game and I just see what I can critique, and I'll go in on Sunday and listen to my coach, and and see what he has for me. And after that, I'm studying the next quarterback, all his sudden moves, all his checks. So it's just like it's a schedule to where I study the quarterback, the receivers, the O line when it's a pass or when it's a run. So it's just days I break down different parts of the film and I put it all together, you know, either on the road or, just in my room and I watch it. And, I just feel like a coach sometimes after I get done because it's just like when I get in the game, it's like everything that I watched and wrote down that we're doing. So it helps me a lot.
You got to tell Coach Wright to let you put together like the binders each week and be like, listen, I got it all. I've already watched the film. Let me help you out on that. To build off of that, what's one thing or what's the biggest thing you want to improve on in 2023 regarding your game?
Um, I really want to like improve on my run game, my tackling. So like, filling the box on third down or being, that corner that stays in on the goal line package. So I want to be like a body presence, where you can't run or throw to my side. So I just want, opponents to know like, okay, he's a solid corner, we just can't, send a crack block to the safety and, make him one-on-one with the running back and he's going to make the tackle. So
I like that. I think there's like a weird stigma about a lot of DBs, especially DBs who are good in coverage, is that they never like to tackle. This is like it goes hand in hand. So I like that. That's like we're gonna get rid of that. Looking at your film study, man. Let's look back to last season. I'll let you give me two. Give me one wide receiver and one quarterback from an opposing team that were your toughest matchups this year.
I would say uh quarterbacks would probably be Michael Hires and the receivers Kendall Watson. So
Oh yeah.
that duo right there, it was a pretty good, film study for them and pretty much like I couldn't crack down, everything that they did, but they did a lot of things great that led them to a SoCon championship. But that was probably my toughest matchup last year. Really a duo. So
Yeah, it definitely is, and the fact that they're on the same team, because a lot of people would pick like different ones, but the fact they're on the same team, you guys get another big shot at them this season, of course. But looking at your career, man, what was your welcome to college moment on the field? Everyone's got one where it's just like, okay, we can't let that happen again. They got me on this one, but now I know what to expect.
I would say it was freshman year. We in Knoxville at Rocky Top playing Tennessee, and I was guarding Marquez Callaway, and he ran like a double move, a come back and go, but like the quarterback Garantado, he didn't look that to that side, so I mean I almost fell, and it was just like dang, and I just looked up at the crowd, and they just like oh, so I'm just like I'm here now, so
Yeah, that's just a brutal stadium. What it's like 102 or even probably more than that. I mean, it's always packed. But
it was,
looking at your game, man, your NFL comp for yourself. Which NFL player do you feel like you model your game after the most?
I would probably say Tyrann Mathieu.
Mm.
I'm very like ball hungry when it comes to like getting the ball, and also a little bit of Trayvon Diggs because I like to catch picks. So um, I kind of like playing DB like I'm a receiver, so it's kind of fun out there.
I don't blame you, man. Listen, I played offensive line, so we don't get to do nothing. We just get to block. But if I was a DB, I definitely would like I would gamble on some picks. That's just like because I think the other than like a special teams touchdown, a pick six it changes the game completely.
Yeah,
I mean, it just sucks the life because I remember that pick six in Mercer, even though it was so early, that the energy on the sideline just got sucked right out of there. They were like, really? Especially because what you guys caused a fumble on the kickoff
kickoff, and
in
then
that game too. So it's just like man, it's 14 nothing already. It's like 14 minutes left of the game. So
yeah.
it's different, but trash talking, man. Listen, I'll just be honest. We've had probably over 150 interviews on this channel, and every single time I have a wide receiver on, they snitch on you guys. They say the DBs always start it. The DBs got to talk all the trash. How big of a trash talker are you during the game?
Um, I say like I'm not that big as a trash talker because like I be trying to communicate with the DBs, but like when I'm in my zone and I'm making plays and I'm making tackles, like you gonna hear a couple words like letting you know I'm here. So I mean, I would say in practice I trash talk way more than I do in the game. So
You got to, because you got to go up against the same guys all the time, and that's your guys. So you have to let them know who is. You get to snitch again. You get to snitch on other people now. Who's the biggest trash talker on Chattanooga's team this year?
um, I'll probably say Telly Plummer. Uh, he's probably gonna be the other corner for us. So he's a Louisville transfer, and he's a loudmouth. So
He said all the wide receivers in the SoCon. If you're watching this, you know when you play Chattanooga, you're gonna hear them. But the number one mistake, man, it's you and a wide receiver one on one. The number one mistake a wide receiver can make against you.
um, the number one mistake would probably be giving me the opportunity to figure out, you know, what type of route runner he is, like an intermediate route runner, a short route runner, or a deep route runner. So once I like understand, you know, what type of route some receiver runs, like that just basically kills his whole game basically to me.
Yeah, because for a cornerman, I still think I know quarterback's tough. I get it. DB's got to be the toughest position. So if there's any way you could just know what he's doing, like it's got to be a lot easier. And then next season, man, you guys are going for the SoCon championship, looking to win the first one since I believe 2015 in school history. What's the number one game on the schedule you're looking forward to the most?
I would probably say the Alabama game because I'm gonna have a lot of family, you know, come see me play, and it's probably just gonna predict pretty much my future of football and stuff like that. So I'm pretty looking forward to that, and you know, just being in Bryant Denny and growing up in Alabama, being an Alabama fan, just getting that experience is probably gonna be the biggest game for me.
I should have known. Listen, I know a lot of guys from Theodore, and everyone I know from Theodore is an Alabama fan. Everybody. It kills because I graduated from Auburn, so I was like the one kid in Mobile. You know how Mobile is. It's like
Yeah.
60-40 probably, really and truly Alabama over Auburn. So I knew it was coming. But after this season, man, you have a big decision in terms of your professional career. Have you had any feedback on interest or anything like that, or what you need to do to generate even more NFL draft buzz going into your final season?
Just really get my 40 down, and I honestly do got another year after this year, so I got the opportunity to play again or you know go to the league. If I have a good season, you know, I've talked about coming out because I feel like I'm ready and my body's developed and I'm at the age to be coming out. So um, it just depends on how this season goes and you know how my relationship with Chattanooga ends.
That's fair. I know that conference championship would make it a whole lot sweeter too.
Yeah.
It to make that decision. And then the final question, man, if that's the decision, even if it's 2 years from now, if an NFL franchise asks you what they're going to get in Cameron Brown if they select you in the NFL draft, what do you tell them?
Relentless worker, you know, somebody just gonna come in every day, um, do what I'm asked of, you know, no questions because I mean you're not in charge for no reason. So just somebody, you know, that's gonna listen and take everything in and just pour it out all on the field.
Man, I love it. Cameron, I appreciate your time, man. Listen, like I said, I always organize these interviews for about 15 minutes, man. We talked for almost 25, and it definitely did not feel like that. This was a big one for me, man. I always the guys from the hometown, from the 251 down here in Theodore, from Theodore High School. My guy Kameron Brown, Chattanooga defensive back. If you don't know him, you know him now, and you're going to want to know him going into the 2023 season. But Cameron, this is all about player promotion here. Plug your social medias, man. Let them know where they can contact you for NILs and any messages, anything you want to plug or promote, man. This time is yours.
Yeah, I just really be on my Instagram a lot, so at Cam Pick Six, and that's like my kind of like my nickname. So for all my teammates, I got that in high school, but it transferred to college as they kept calling me because I kept making Pick Sixes. So yeah, it. I just want to thank God for the opportunity, you know, uh, just being here and being on the interview, it means a lot.
Hey man, I definitely appreciate your time, and there's a lot worse nicknames than Cam Pick Six. If you're a corner and your nickname is Pick Six, I think you got it made, man. You've been proving everyone right for a while now, and I got to see it in person. I'm definitely going to be up for a game mess when I get up to Chattanooga. We'll definitely have to connect up there, man. Maybe do a sit down, catch up interview up in Chattanooga. But guys, make sure to go follow my guy Cam on all social medias. Pay attention. He's going to put the world on notice again, going for two-time FCS All-American, going for SoCon Defensive Player of the Year and the Buck Buchanan. But for Cam, myself, and the Blue Bloods guys, we are out for right now.